Welcome to the Troublemakers podcast. Your host today is me, Monica Kamandau, and I'm joined by Ali, who is a writer, a book activist, a community organizer, a storyteller. He will tell us a lot more about what he does. And today we'll be exploring the principle of fostering safer spaces. So we'll be having a conversation with Ali and just hearing what is happening in Tanganyika, Zanzibar, Muungano wa Tanzania in the storytelling area. Welcome, Ali.
Thank you so much, Monica. It's such a pleasure to be here and being hosted by you and Rogers.
Karibu. Tell us a bit more about who you are. I know I did a very quick intro, but I wouldn't do any justice if I did all the introduction. Tell us what you do, where you come from. Yeah.
Asante. I am a creative writer. Intrinsically. And then everything flows from there. So all my community organizing, all my stage performances, recitals, book activism, all comes from my passion for the written word, creativity and imagination.
Yeah, what do you write about?
I write short stories mainly, but I also write scripts. I write about slices of life. So for those of you who are not familiar with slices of life, it's sort of a rebellion against traditional narratives that you must have a beginning, you must have a middle and an end, and there's like that whole storytelling arc and all that. So slices of life for me is very fun to write because I can just observe, write, make my own opinions about things. I enjoy comedy, so I put in a lot of humor into my stories, and then that's that. So people just enjoy these slices of life from a fictional standpoint, but as well as nonfiction, because after all, we are living our lives.
Lovely. I love the name Slices of Life. I'm like, I'm going to check that out at some point. But yeah, yesterday when Rogers reached out, you were like, I would like to speak a bit more on fostering safer spaces. And I would give you the space to also share that, also given that you're in such an amazing field where you're the one who tells the story, you're speaking to people in different areas. So how do you foster safer spaces in such situations? Maybe speak to that, or maybe what are the obstacles that may be there that people need to be addressed so that we have safer spaces. Yeah.
Thank you. So my my passion for the written word really stems from my experiences living with a stutter. Some people call it stammer, but in Kiswahili, I love it to just have one word, kigugumizi.
You should say that closer to the mic so people can hear what Swahili for stutter is.
Swahili for stuttering and stammering is kigugumizi. So I've been living with kigugumizi for 25 plus years. And I've always, like, growing up, there's always that tension and that fear that you are really hiding because of the pressure to conform to how people speak, because people are, they just want they are very I would say addicted to fluency. So when there is a different pattern of speaking, it really breaks up their expectations, and people get angry and people rush you. So mostly growing up, I would pretend not to have a stutter, and I would just if there was something that I wanted to say or to convey, I would mostly turn to the page and write. After university, during university, I saw the need to really disclose my stutter because it felt like this has to come to an end, because when you're pretending to be a fluent speaker and then the stutter catches you, people are shocked. And then people lose track of what you're trying to say. So I started disclosing before any sort of presentations during my studies, any public speaking opportunities. Just say that I'm a person who has a stutter. So midway of my speech or my presentation, I might get stuck on a word or on a letter, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet, so I'll continue. And what really came out of that was people would come to me afterwards and then say, hey, I have a child, I have a relative, a friend, a colleague who stutters. Do you mind speaking to them? Because one of the really destructive things for people who live with a stutter is the loneliness, because it feels like you're the only one with it, because everybody just wants to speak in a fluent manner because that's what's expected, and or keep quiet because you don't want to waste people's time. Quote a quotation on that. So I saw the need to have that community of people who stutter and to share stories and to express themselves fully, to be heard, because people with a stutter, and I'll do some shameless promotion, are brilliant people. Absolutely. So they have great ideas, they do great work, and I thought there's really a need to create spaces where people with a stutter feel engaged and also motivated to contribute their opinions, their ideas on how to make our world better, how they can participate in civic duties, because and this is the thing that the mantra that we remind ourselves and remind others in our society, Chamuta, that what we say is more important than how we say it, and that's really the driving home message, or the spirit that we do our work in.
I'll just pause quite, because you said in our community Chamuta, and my brain was like, could you tell us what Chamuta is or what it stands for?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So Chamuta, I love this acronym. It's a Swahili acronym, and it stands for Chama cha Mitindo Maalum ya Uzungumzaji Tanzania. So that's Tanzania's Special Speech Patterns Association. But I just love Chamuta's act.
Chamuta sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. I was trying to translate it in English, and I was like, oh, hi. My Swahili is also.
Oh, it's on point. I love it.
Thank you. Okay, just tell us a bit more. Also, because I love that you're bringing this in the space to also discuss, like, this also comes into how we include people in our community organizing work. So if you could share a bit more how this also links to your community organizing, how do you address these barriers, and how do you create this space for people who have a stutter to be able to share what they want to say and be heard.
So the at Chamuta, what we really strive to raise awareness on are the ways to engage with the person who stutters, and it really comes down to 3 steps. okay, before I get to the steps, just the overriding virtue of patience, that you're bringing in people from all walks of life, and uh, 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 people communicate in different patterns. A stutterer, at its basic form, needs more time, more space.
Yeah.
So w- 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 when we allow for that, it helps to prepare uh, people who stutter mentally that the space I'm in, I will be heard, no matter how long it takes me to convey my message, because people here are genuinely interested in what I have to say, and that's why I am part of this gathering. So there are myths that help perpetuate um, uh, perceptions of people who stutter, which, of course, they do a lot of harm and become sort of um, um, a shortcut to uh, um, to ignore them and not give them that space. Firstly is people who will allow you to speak, and then when you stutter, they look away. So they don't even look you in the eyes, thinking that it's an embarrassing moment for you. Now, what that does is actually really detrimental to self-esteem, because you're no longer engaging with me as a human being, and you're turning away that a point of contact. And so, just keeping that eye contact is really, really key, because you are helping to boost the uh, um, the the person's self-esteem, and basically tell them that you are here to hear them out. Secondly is, and this is so common, is when people feel like people who stutter don't know or forgot the word that they want to say, and then they pitch in the words, which is so frustrating, because at 10 out of 10, those are not the words that I wanted to say. But they're doing it as a way to help you, a quote, help, for you to finish your sentences or your thoughts. Again, in terms of patience, when you just hear them out, they will tell you what they want to say, because they know what they want to say. And then the last one is people do this out of the goodness of their heart, but really takes people out of their line of thought, is when they see somebody who stuttering, and then tells them, oh, it's okay, calm down, pole pole, like relax, I'm not going away, we're here.
Yeah.
There was no, that's needless. First of all, that's very patronizing, and you're also taking me out of my line of thought. So just having those as a facilitator and a moderator of civic spaces is to come with those principles in mind, that allows for people who started to stand up and voice their opinion. Yeah.
Thank you, Ellie. Because I'm also thinking, in the organizing space, we can be in a space where it tries to move very fast. We have things to be done. We want to get this done.
We don't have time for this.
We have decisions to be made. I'm wondering, I love the 3 points that you have pointed out, like being present, giving, a chance for people to be heard, not assuming you know what they want to say. But I also want to ask, in the community organizing space, like what other advice would you bring to the space for people to think around when thinking of creating safer spaces? Not only, I would say, for people who stutter, but for people who probably have a different way of speaking, probably have a different language. And, you're thinking in one language and speaking in another language. I do that with English sometimes. It can be a minute. So what other advice would you share that can help people create these spaces or make these spaces be safer and more inclusive and create space for everyone to be heard?
I would say really comes from from a point of compassion. That compassion and a truthfulness. Because when you're gathering people, like I said, and they're coming from different walks of life, people communicate in different ways, really put in the effort to look around, see the resources available, have instruments to to write on. So I love carrying a pen because that's sometimes when my stutter really um, um, uh, um, becomes intense, I resort to writing, e- especially as we're contributing to opinions or people want my take on things, and also, um, uh, of course, having a, s- a s- a sign language interpreters is very key when it is, you know, obviously when you have people of different languages, um, to be um, uh, to be truly inclusive is having uh, uh, everybody involved feel like they're being engaged.
Yeah.
So obviously you there are chances you won't have a translators there live, but we're in the age of technology. People can have access to a smartphone, and there are apps now that transcribe and translate in real time, so people uh, can feel part of the conversation. And one thing which I really strive to make sure I engage everybody in the meeting. Like, there are no passive participants of a gathering. And those spaces that you want to create is somebody will have to say something. And in whatever way, you are a living being and you have an opinion. You have an idea that is will make our life better in one way or the other. So just contribute. And so when you're leaving that space, you, you can confidently say that everybody in this community has participated and we've heard their voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because I told you my background is also in training. And also, one of the things we talk about in facilitation is creating spaces for, those quiet people in the room. Just create that space. You might not know why they're quiet. Give them a chance to be heard, and maybe that's the point you needed to get the meeting moving. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I would also like to hear how this is working in Tanzania. Like examples, real life examples, if you can share that you have had in Zanzibar. You live in Zanzibar,
Yeah.
right? In Zanzibar or mainland Tanzania, where you've used these spaces, because our listeners are also from Tanzania. We would like to hear some local examples or spaces where they can engage.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So there uh, there are various ways um, um, that we engage with our community for people who stutter.
Mhm.
Um, The first one is storytelling sessions. So these are actually the first one is a support group uh, where we meet up with each other uh, whenever we have an opportunity to share stories, share techniques of how people who live with a stutter, how they navigate life at school, at work, in their neighborhood. And the other one is storytelling sessions. So whereby now we invite allies, and whether it's our family, our educators, our colleagues, neighbors, where they can hear from different people who stutter, just share their stories. And it can be a very particular incident where somebody I went to a job interview, and how the stutter damaged their chances, and what was the follow-up after that. Or somebody um, um, it, they struggle with a loneliness. Um, um, but having a community of people who stutter helps you not to feel like it's the end of the world. That there is a life with a stutter. And I would say, aside from the adults who stutter, we really, really try to make sure that the beginning of a stutter, which is childhood, primary school level, and these are the ages of 5 to 8. As soon as a child develops a stutter, it feels like it's the end of the world for them. And the parents panic, the teachers, especially those who are not equipped with evaluating different learning styles or getting that a feedback from students, or they end up being misevaluated, and because they're not participating in class, they can even repeat classes, which is very um, um, mm, uh, uh, um, damaging to their educational progress. So the children who stutter, we have a camp called Camp Dream Speak Live, which we is actually a program that was started by University of Austin, Texas, by a brilliant lady called Dr. Courtney Bird. And it's a 5-day camp, just like any summer camp for kids who can play and 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 they have fun doing activities and exercises, but they're all designed for speech confidence. So they learn. It's based on a care model. So briefly, it's communication, advocacy, resilience, and education. So that's the care model. I love it that in Kiswahili, it's the acronym becomes MUE, which is mawasiliano, uchechemuzi, ustahimilivu, and elimu. But we don't use that, of course. It's not very child friendly.
I know you should also explain to the non-Swahili speakers what muwe would mean.
MUE means kill them. which is very rough, eh?
So
we start with the care.
paradoxical, taking care of kids, and then the acronym in Kiswahili is MUE.
Yeah, so we stick with the care model, but of course we facilitated in Kiswahili. And when the participants come in the first day and the last day, you really feel like they have, first of all, made friendships that they usually come from schools that or classes that they're the only ones who stutter. So when they're in a space where there are 15, 20, 25 of them together and they can all share their stories, they feel there's a sense of kinship.
Yeah.
So to disclose their stutter and what stuttering means for them, with their immediate communities. So at school, at home, in the neighborhood, and so forth. And the last day, we do a talent show where the kids, and we invite the parents and teachers, and they have so much fun because we push the idea that stuttering is just a speech pattern, but you are so much talented. You are very much skilled, and you have this awesomeness that you can showcase. And so, yeah, we have fun on the last day, which reflects all the exercises and the lessons that we were imparting the whole week. So, and for this particular camp, it's our second time doing it. The last time we did it in Stone Town, last year in Zanzibar. And this year, we're doing it in Dar es Salaam. Actually, the end of this month, June 23rd to 27th. And people are more than welcome to register, the participants. It's all free of charge because we have had people who have believed in what we're doing and have supported this camp. So we're really grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you, Ellie. I will spin it a bit. Also because we talked about making good for trouble. And I would like to talk about this year's election year in Tanzania.
Yes.
And today we had a conversation on civic participation. So I'm also wondering in such spaces, how are young people or people with the stutter in Tanzania being included in these spaces where they contribute or it's their right to contribute to like the civic participation, what laws are made. Could you speak a bit to that in the context of Tanzania?
Okay. So, like I said, it's an uphill climb because there are perceptions of stuttering that have been very, I would say, systemic and cultural. That stuttering has trust issue. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with this song. It's a while now. Banana Zoro and Pressure. Banana Zoro and Hafsa. It's called Pressure.
Is it like
Pressure.
Yes,
You're right.
I know
So
that.
there's a lyric
Uh-huh.
in that song which says mpenzi wangu kweli nakupenda ndo maana unajua unanitesa pressure. So right before that,
No, I don't know if we'll be demonized for singing.
plus, please, if you can edit this part out, please do. But I just wanted to get the point across that before that lyric, there is like sort of, I would say, an intercutting. I don't know what music people say about this, but there's a question. Mbona una kigugumizi? And then the reply is because unaniona ni mwizi or something like that. So it's this negative perception that people who stutter are disingenuous, dishonest. They're not sure. They're making things up. And you know, when you look at spaces, especially in political spaces, it, to be trusted, um, m- w- 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 works in very closely with fluency. So there's this narrative of confident public speaking that's becomes sort of performative, and people build into that trust. Uh, um, so 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 I would say, especially uh, uh, in the basic format of participating, there's the whole concept that we've discussed earlier, that people are not accommodating time and the speech pattern. So when we want to raise our voices and speak out, it's very dismissive, and it would only allow you to resort to writing. And now, how much we need to write, at what intensity, and how frequently, that's all a different question. But one thing which I really encourage, and we encourage this across our community of people who stutter, is our mantra that what you're saying is more important than how you say it. So you should speak out, because you never know where the spark comes, the sparks of change come, and you might have the extra push to add to a revolution.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, keep pushing.
I love the mantra. Whatever you have to say is more important than how you have to say how you're saying it. Please correct me if I'm saying it wrong. I love the mantra. Thank you for sharing this. I think it is important for us to have these conversations, whether it's at childhood level, in terms of education, whether it's civic participation in terms of, political spaces, or it's in community organizing, because we are the community.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how we look, how tall we are, or that. I love that we have these spaces. I'll give you a chance to also tell us where we can find slices of life. Where have you been writing? Where can you get your books? What are they called? What topics are you covering? All that. We want to hear that and be able to maybe Google it if it's on Google later and read more on what you're working on.
Sweet. Thank you, Monica. I really appreciate the opportunity. So I write online. I contribute to different literary journals. Actually, my recent work just been published by Ubwali, which is a Zambian literary journal. Please do check it out. They do some great work. But when you look at Afrida, which is an online literary journal, and they publish stories from across the continent, by this lovely lady called Nancy Adimora, who started about 6 years ago now, or even further. No, almost 10. My God, time flies. So yeah, when you Google Ali Baharoon, you'll get my stories. I'm online. Venturali, and Echamuta is also online, on X and Instagram as well.
Great. Please go ahead, check Ali out and his writing and Chamuta's pages and what they're doing. We have one last thing before I give you a chance to give your final take.
All right.
And this is where we play cards.
Awesome.
I need... Did I have the deck?
Right, yeah.
Oh, and that. Do you know how to play cards?
Yes.
You know how to shuffle cards?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. So I just give you a few cards. Then you shuffle them and pick one.
All right.
And then you tell us what it speaks to you about or thoughts on it. This is a lot of cards. I might have scrolled just to edit this part out at how slow I am selecting the cards.
Oopsie daisy.
I just need like 3 types of cards. Okay. This should be enough. You can shuffle this.
All right. Oh, I love you. Big, nice cards.
Yes.
Let's just shuffle like this.
Just like normal cards, face down.
Oh, face down.
Yes.
All right. My God. You know what?
You're better at shuffling than me.
Because they're such big cards, it's quite difficult to shuffle them. Let me try.
When you're ready, then you can just pick a card.
Really?
Yes.
You say stop.
Stop. You read it out and you can share your thoughts on it.
Okay, this is actually, I love how we learn every day. Huh? So this is something I've never heard.
Okay.
It's called prefigurative politics. Have you heard of this?
I love it. Yeah.
I should read the...
Just read the description.
Okay, the description says, by creating in the now, via visionary direct action and living our values, the future world we wish to see, we can experience for ourselves how a better world is not only necessary, but possible. What a theory. My God. Wow, just take a moment to process this. All right. So my thoughts on this?
Your thoughts on that?
I agree with this theory 100%. I think there is a lot of wishful thinking, and perhaps it's better to do like the willful doing, because I'm a big believer in our power within. That we, what we say becomes who we are. There's a quote about this, and who we are becomes our character. But really bring it down to our actions, and then living as truthfully as we can with ourselves, with each other, because truly, that's the only way we can make a better world. Just having those honest conversations, and creating a utopia that we want to live in. So thank you for this. This is a learning moment for me.
Thank you, Ali. You read it out, and I was thinking, that is exactly what you're doing. When you say we want to be in a space where people with the stutter are given a chance and are heard, and you're practicing that with kids and with these camps and the spaces you're creating, you're bringing that utopia that we want to live into now.
Yeah.
In small ways that we can build up on. I loved when you're like prefigurative politics. I was like, yes, I love this. Thank you so much, Ali. Any parting shots? Any last words? The floor is all yours.
Wow, parting shots. That's such a high pressure point. But really, it's the show is called Beautiful Trouble.
The cards.
Oh, the cards are called Beautiful Trouble.
There's a whole toolbox.
There's a whole toolbox
for Beautiful Trouble.
And what I really like about this is status quo is very comfortable. You know, people love the status quo. There's a word in Swahili now, achawa, which is for people who are advocates for the status quo. And what I think is very key is for people to always have that drive. We need to disrupt and improve the status quo, because there's nothing perfect. You know, until we reach the utopia, there's always things that need to be improved on. And when you bring up the disruption, it's known as trouble. So I think mainly is to have confidence in what we believe in, and share it in the most truthful way possible, because you're not alone. There are people who are with you, facing the same issues, and just creating that community is what really makes it worthy and beautiful effort. So yeah.
Thank you, Ali. Yes, that is 8. This is Beautiful Trouble. The troublemakers. It's because you took a photo and I got confused. I was like, am I supposed to be looking at the camera? Am I supposed to be looking at Ali? What am I supposed to be doing?
Hey you, troublemaker. Have you ever thought about learning Swahili? Maybe you're moving to a Swahili-speaking country, planning to work there, or you just love learning new languages. Well, we've got you covered. At MSTCDC, we make learning Swahili easy and fun. Join our Swahili language courses, designed for non-Swahili speakers. Whether you're a beginner or looking to improve, take our Swahili proficiency test and get officially certified. Need translation services? We handle English to Swahili and Swahili to English for individuals, institutions, and organizations. And if you're really looking for a truly immersive experience, we arrange homestay placements with local families so you can live it, learn it, and experience it. Our cultural programs go beyond just language. You'll get hands-on experience with Swahili traditions, customs, and daily life. So, are you ready to dive into the world of Swahili? Visit mstcdc.or.tz and start your journey today. And hey, for more updates and conversations that drive change, follow us on social media at troublemakers.podcast. See you soon.